Hi and welcome to this video on health and family. Today we are going to talk about teenager age. So wow, we enter in the moment which is not so easy for many parents, which is about dealing with this moment that most of people call the dark channel. And this is a period most of the time of our life that when we think about it we say, if I could have skipped it, I will be happy. In the meantime, this is a period of life which is so glorified, the youth, it's so beautiful to see all these gorgeous young people full of energy, of libidos and strength and enthusiasm for everything. It's true, but in the meantime, it's not because the strength and power and enthusiastic there that we have to let our kids on their own. They are not adults at all and they need really your support. So this moment is quite delicate, and to approach it I wish to talk about an approach that the ancient Greek was telling about this different stage of life. According to ancient Greek, the first period of life, the early childhood, is linked to the phase they call pornoi. Pornoi means skin to skin, naked skin to naked skin. And effectively, it's a moment where you're naked in the womb, you're naked on the breast of your mother, you sleep with your parents, and either on your personality level, you're like naked. You know, you're completely open. And it's a moment where you haven't yet have enough experience to be in the complication of life. So this moment is the phase called pornoi, and after that, on the childhood itself, where we develop more the self-confidence, we have this period called the eros moment. And this eros moment is where we tend to develop our self-confidence, and during that time we tend to dialogue with life, we are dialoguing with people, and in the meantime it's a moment where we are bargaining our love. So we do our services and we receive our services. So, and this is a principle of the doing. We do something for the other and we are rewarded for that. In the pornoi stage, we just do nothing or just doing a mess and we receive love. That's why we develop the self-esteem. People respect us for who we are, not for what we do. And we learn to respect the other in return when there is good landmark. Yes and no, remember. But when we approach the stage of teenager, it's another things. Teenager, they want to give more. They are not in the stage where they give 50, you give 50. They want to give 75, and they expect, and they are less receptive. They are receptive just 25% of your input, but no longer 50% or 100% than when you're a kid. So just to resume it, pornoi phase, early childhood, the children receive 100% of all your input. You become a children, it's more 50-50. Dad, mom, I can do it, okay, I will help you, I'm there, you know, so it's like a 50-50 dialogue. But you arrive at teenager age and you know that if you start to do the same thing, the teenager won't take it. But don't get away from this 25% that is your duty. And what are the needs of teenager? Teenager have to learn to be, the teenager are learning how to have confidence on other. So it's no longer to learn how to be confident on yourself by doing, is to learn to be confident on other. And teenagers have to learn how to interrogate their environment, how to take information and ask the good question. So this stage in ancient Greek is called the phili stage, the moment where you are going to develop friends. Phili means like, love, and you have to distinguish what is like you and what is not like you. And in a like you, it doesn't mean that you cannot respect people who are so different than you. but you want to understand, to respect yourself and respect the other. And when you have people like you, and this like you doesn't mean the appearance, but it could be interest for certain things, you know, usually sports first, usually activities, it could be art, it could be a certain type of interest, sometimes techno, stuff like that. And after that, it's a way of thinking. And you know, at that time, hormones are there, though you have the call. You have the call, and you have some people who are receiving, this teenager are going to have the famous talk from parents or friends. I follow a lot of kids, and sometimes it's me who make the talks. They say, "Oh, are you telling me the talk, giving me the talk?" And I say, "Yes, it's a time for the talk." And it's true. A teenager age is really the moment of the talk. So what it is about? It is about to explain them the main rule of learning what is like them. When you understand what is like you, you cope much better with what is not like you. So you have learned in the early childhood to respect all living stock. So everything which is alive, you respect it in the early age. After that, you develop self-confidence. You can do things. You're able to. When you're a teenager, you have to learn to understand that there is many people around you, and you can walk with them. You can do things with them. But you have to understand the common interest. You have to understand how to build common things together. This is the famous like. And so you will be able to develop ability to live with the other, because you know which level you can count and non-count. And the idea is not to make everybody like you, is just to know what is like you, that you can live with these people and feel good, and mainly be efficient. Mainly do things that you are efficient together, and you're in peace, you're happy with that. And for people that you are not in the same levels of peacefulness, you just give them space. You don't want to change them, you just give them space. You don't force or oblige people, but with them, the harmony, the ability to live together is to have a certain space. So it's just to learn about space. And this is about the confidence on other. You know that for some people, your level of confidence then make that you need to have a certain space with them. When the confidence is very strong, the space is closer. And we ended to define the principle of relationship, loving relationship, have good friends, and eventually lover, perhaps not the right word in English, but to have someone you like, you love, and all the story of love that starts. And the problem is with the big pushing of hormones, you have this situation where children don't do the difference between the need of meeting the other, because that's what do these hormones. The libido, which is a creative force, at that moment of your life, the libido pushing you outside of yourself, outside of your comfort zone, to meet the unknown, to meet people. So of course, first you're attracted by the other gender, libido, but you're attracted by people who look cool, who look interesting. It's again libido, more in the friendship, but it's the same thing. It gives you curiosity on the unknown, to know how you could be with them, how you could cope with them, but more than cope, how you could build relationship and eventually be creative with them. So this moment is so important, because the principle to have an harmonious society start there, to have a harmonious couple start there. And for that, there is just one principle to learn, the principle of asking question. Again, ancient Greeks, they was talking about maietics. Maietics was to ask a question, and to have ask a question and a question and a question and a question. So, maietic is really the heart of questioning what you take for granted. You see a boy who is super interesting, you're a girl, you see a boy very interesting. This boy has the hormone on the top roof, like you, but you don't know how the hormone works on him. And so you suppose, oh, he's looking at me, he likes me, he loves me, he wants to spend his life with me. So you see, you project something and you take it for granted. this is exactly the moment of the talk where you have to teach your children not to say, oh, this is a bad boy, whatever. This is what parents do most of the time. He just want to kiss you, to touch you, and all that. No, it's not that. You have to empower your children, in this case your daughter or the girl close to you, and to explain to her, look, question him, try to know what is his attract on you. Just question. What do you want? And when you ask him deeply the question, instead to take for granted that he's completely in love for you and he wants to spend his life with you, when he tends to be driven by his hormones, and just he will bang whatever move around him and you're in front of him. So you see, so it's not to diminish you as a so beautiful girl, but sometimes the hormone don't take a lot to start in fire. So that's time just to ask, what is your interest? Why you want to be with me? Oh, okay, you want to touch me, you're interested by my boobs and all that. Completely normal, no problem with that. I'm pleased that as a woman, I'm interested man and all that, and because I'm so gorgeous, no problem with that. But I am seeking for more, example, connectivity, relationship. Remember, women, they develop first the connective hormones. But by chance, in the meantime, there is a bit of testosterone on women during all the adolescence. That's why girls are really much, in meantime they want connectivity, but in meantime they're interested by sexuality. So they could have a meeting, but usually a lot of disappointment, because as soon the excitation of erotism pass, they're disappointed that the guy has no longer interest, because he's not enough mature at that age to develop a lot of connectivity. So it's a very short connectivity. But if the girl takes time to know what is your purpose, what is your goal, what you want deeply, and she learned that mainly this is more an erotic situation, more attractive, physical attractive things. Well, if it's a curiosity, why not? But if you're seeking for something else, which is most of the time the case, the romanticism and all that, it won't work for you. And you are going to hurt you, and you are going to end it, oh, guys are so, so just they are jerk and all that. And you feel that you have given something precious from you, which is your body, which is your energy, which is your love, which is most important again. And the guy just take it at the Kleenex and throw it out, and you feel completely desperate. So a lot of people broke their soul at that moment. On the other hand, not in the loving aspect, this moment of connectivity, because yes, really teenager ages go out of you to connect with people. This moment of meeting the other and try to understand how they work is the moment of a lot of disappointment for teenager. They have good self-esteem of themselves, of the life. They have developed a strong confidence in themselves, and they try to have confidence on other, but they're so disappointed of all so unethical behavior of so many